What is going on, everybody? Welcome back into TTP Sports and the Flyers All-Star break, which felt like basically 50 years. It felt forever. It's been too long since we've seen the orange and the black on the ice. It's felt very long. That's bottom line right there. A week and a half off, basically. And yeah, it's a little long time without some hockey to watch and to watch this Flyers squad. Even though they were on a 5-game losing streak, even though the break really did come at probably the right time for this team, just because of how much they were just struggling going into it and they really desperately needed that break. It feels really good to have them back on the ice tonight, and, hell, big of a test as any with the defending Eastern Conference champion Florida Panthers team that went to the Stanley Cup final last year, and you find a way to beat them 2-1. After you got dominated pretty much in that first period, thank God for Sam Ersson and net. They allow one goal on the power play in that first period. And basically, it was, Florida had their way with this squad in that first period. Puck entries into the offensive zone were very easy for Florida. They were getting chance upon chance upon chance upon chance. Flyers had trouble clearing the puck out of the zone. And Sam Ersson stood tall. And when you have a goaltender that is able to make saves and that much of succession that Sam Ersson did in that first period, it gave this team a chance to find their feet, get the rust off their feet, get the rust off their sticks, and find a way to get their groove back and play their game. John Tortorella also was a big help with that. There was a stoppage, coming back from one of the commercial breaks. He was telling, let's play our game. Let's get pucks in deep. Let's chip pucks over, use our speed, use our forecheck. And that's basically how the Flyers adjusted the rest of the game. If you look at some of the people in this game, Sam Ersson obviously was probably your best player. He was the main reason why you won this game, because he was just that spectacular in the crease tonight. But then also you got to give a lot of credit to, guys like Joel Farabee making some nifty passes, Travis Konecny, Noah Cates being, really good two-way game like we know he can be. And yeah, he's been definitely very noticeable since coming back from the injury, and he definitely deserved that goal, that game-winning goal in that third period. It was just, the Flyers got better as the game went along. They defended very well. They relied on their goaltender, who they were very confident in, obviously, to make the saves behind them, to utilize that confidence to go back up to the ice and put some chances on Florida's netminder, which was Anthony Stolarz, not Sergei Bobrovsky, a former Flyer in there, Stoli the goalie. So that was pretty odd to see. So you saw Alex Lyon, what was it, in the last game against Detroit, and then now you see Anthony Stolarz in here. And a lot of Flyers fans on social media were like, oh God, Alex Lyon shut us out last time. Is Stolarz going to shut us out this time? Thank God that wasn't the case. Second period, try to get your feet back into the game, and you get some nifty passing between Sean Walker with a brilliant, down ice stretch pass to Joel Farabee, who's on Florida's blue line, and he just delivers a beautiful tap pass over one of the Florida defenders' sticks, and in comes Travis Konecny on a mini breakaway, and he just gets Stolarz to move down, and TK goes top cheese, tying the game up at 1. There's your all-star right there, getting on the score sheet. Always love to see that. And tie game there. Flyers did have a couple of power plays today, but as expected, you probably weren't going to score on them against this Florida squad. But basically, pretty much, I would say, back and forth game throughout the entire second period. Like I said, the Flyers, their legs got a lot better as this game progressed, and they looked better. And they were bringing it to Florida. They were bringing it with, the animosity, with, the back and forth scrums, because there definitely were a lot of scrums and tussles and, words yapping basically after every whistle. I saw a lot of, Travis Konecny and Sam Bennett. Also, you mix in a little bit of a Matthew Tkachuk into that mix. Those guys were basically going at it the entire day, and the Flyers didn't back down from it, which was very good. Florida is definitely a team that likes to get in your face. They like to chirp you. They like to, they play hard. They forecheck hard. They're a very heavy-hitting team, and that's resulted in a lot of the success that they've had this year. Also coming off of that confidence of that deep run that they had to the Stanley Cup Finals last year. That also helped a lot to basically bring out their full potential into this season. Sam Reinhart's been absolutely nasty. Matthew Tkachuk is still an absolute unit. Alexander Barkov is still one of the most underrated players in the league. It's crazy how barely talked about he is. It's probably because he plays in a non-hockey market. That's why he's not talked about as much. But this dude is unreal. Just year after year after year, he's just putting up incredible numbers. He's one of the best two-way forwards in the game. He could be probably tops for the Selke Trophy. He's probably going to win the Selke Trophy this year. But it's just still amazing how criminally underrated Alexander Barkov is. And just, Sam Reinhart with the way that he's scoring goals, especially on the power play this year. Brandon Montour and all that stuff, with the way Bobrovsky's been playing this year. That's a really good Florida team, man. That is a really good Florida team, and honestly, they're another dangerous team going into the playoffs this year because they got that experience from last year. They got the clutch factor gene with Matthew Tkachuk, and they got a little bit of, stank in them. They got a little bit of that animosity, like I said. And the Flyers, they brought it every step of the way, and you got to, give them credit. The Flyers, even though in the past stretch before the All-Star break, they probably kind of ran out of gas when you were playing so many good teams in a row. But hey, you didn't have your legs in the first period. Your goaltender had your back, and you found a way to get back into the game, and you found a way to win that game. That beautiful passing play by Sean Walker and Joel Farabee to spring TK for his goal. And then the second goal for the Flyers in that third period comes off of a turnover from Florida just trying to make a breakout. From behind their net, they pass it up to one of the defenders. They turn the puck over as the puck bounces off of their stick. Here comes Noah Cates pouncing on that, and he just drives the net, gets his own rebound, and buries it past Stolarz. And 2-1 Flyers lead, and they don't look back from there. Florida pulls their goaltender with around, I would say, 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes left to go in this period. They definitely had a lot of chances. I was honestly scared because there were situations where Travis Konecny probably could have cleared it into the empty net and he iced the puck with 10, 15 seconds or so. And I'm like, oh, God, that's going to be the backbreaker. You got guys out there for so long for a very long shift being hemmed in your defensive zone just because of the extra attacker out there for Florida. And I'm just like, you iced the puck in that worst possible scenario. That's probably going to come back to bite you. But the Flyers, they stand strong. They win a faceoff. They get a nice poke check to get the puck at least into the neutral zone to kill some clock off. And basically, that is how your game ends. Back and forth. You weren't strong. It was a very bad first period for this Flyers squad. But they found a way to come back. They found a way to come back, and they got better as the game went along. I know a lot of people were worried about this team going into the break with the way that they were playing. They needed the break. They needed the break wholeheartedly. I know a lot of people are concerned about, Sam Ersson and all that stuff with, now he's going to be getting the heavy workload with the whole Carter Hart situation. Now that Carter Hart's basically done. Carter Hart is basically done. He is not coming back to this team. He is probably not going to be playing in the NHL for a couple of years with all the stuff that is coming about, with the criminal charges against him and the other players, with that whole situation. And yeah, they were talking about the trial possibly not even happening until 2026. Yeah, so those guys are basically going to be out of the NHL for a while, and they shouldn't be allowed to come back into the NHL unless they, talk to Barry Bettman or something like that. But personally, they just shouldn't be allowed in the NHL. I know it's, innocent until proven guilty, but this is a very difficult situation, and a situation the NHL does not want to be in. So let these investigation go its course. And yeah, it's just terrible look for the league, honestly. Just is. I know a lot of people are blaming the organizations. The organizations really can't do anything about it at the end of the day. It's just a terrible situation all around. That's really it. And for the Flyers situation, I guess maybe that's what affected them at the same time. During that 5-game losing streak, they were like, oh, God, Carter Hart, that's, Jesus Christ. Maybe it took them, for the players that are in the locker room, maybe it took them for a loop. Maybe they didn't realize this stuff was happening. Well, they probably knew something was happening, but they probably didn't know Hart was going to be the guy that had to take the leave of absence to go turn himself in. Maybe that was also one of the reasons why. And they got that whole situation out of the locker room. He's not going to be on the team anymore, so they don't have to focus on that distraction. And they just go out there, they play their game, they focus on themselves. And yeah, going back to Sam Ersson, I know a lot of people are probably now concerned about the blow that he's going to be getting now from here to the backstretch of the season, and especially now that Cal Peterson is their backup. That's definitely a major downgrade from what you did have before, Carter Hart became a scumbag. But was a scumbag, basically. And yeah, we're going to see. We're definitely going to see. I think Sam Ersson has definitely made for the moment, regardless if it's a small sample size that he's had in the NHL or not. But yeah, it's, with the way that he's played and the way that he's showcased in a lot of games this year, especially against some really good teams. Sam Ersson was the reason why you were even involved in this game. If you watch that entire first period and the saves that he made, and just the calm, cool, collected, poised that he was in the net, that's something that goes a very long way in this league. He just looks confident. He looks very confident in himself. Now, yeah, the one concern that I would get, during this backstretch would be burnout, but I'm sure John Tortorella is going to utilize these two goaltenders the proper way. When, Sam Ersson does need a game off, he'll throw in Cal Petersen in there. And hopefully Cal Petersen will be up for the task. I know he's appeared in a couple of games this year. I believe there was one game that he played in Los Angeles where he did get the win. Well, yeah, Cal Petersen definitely isn't the best goaltender in the world, but hopefully he could be a capable backup to a Sam Ersson. Hopefully that's basically all Cal Petersen has to be, just be a capable backup to where you can come in every now and then and just, take the load off. That's basically it there. But yeah, good win. Good win. Nice win coming off of that long extended break. Much needed break, though. Definitely much needed. Hopefully those guys got their vacation hours in to get into this very, heavy backstretch of the season. Because the schedule for the next few games, it's still a little bit difficult. But it definitely does ease up a little bit this month, especially in the middle stretch. I would say you do have a lot more days off in between games this month. So if we look at the next upcoming games, you got a 3-game homestand. You got Thursday, Saturday, and Monday. So you got Thursday against the Winnipeg Jets, 7 o'clock. Saturday against the Seattle Kraken at 7 o'clock. Then Monday the 12th at 7 p.m. against the Arizona Coyotes. You have 2 days off after that to go on the road for a Thursday game against the Toronto Maple Leafs. They'll have a day off after that. Then that Saturday, the 17th, that's going to be the outdoor game in MetLife Stadium between the Flyers and the Devils. So hopefully that should be a fun contest. I will be there. The Flyers have 3 days off after that game to go on the road against the Blackhawks to see Connor Bedard and all that. Then they got 2 days off, home game against the Rangers. Follow that up by a road game against the Penguins on that very next Saturday. Then they close out the month of February with a game against the Tampa Bay Lightning at home. Then you go into that March schedule. I would say that their January schedule is probably the toughest schedule that they're probably going to be facing this entire season. Because if I'm looking at the month of March, Capitals, Ottawa, St. Louis at home. They play Florida and Tampa again, San Jose at home, Toronto at home, Boston on the road, Toronto at home again, Carolina on the road. You had the back stretch of, this little last stretch here in a March, like 2 games against Toronto, 1 against Boston, 2 games against Boston, actually, 1 game against Carolina, 1 game against Florida, 1 game against the Rangers. It definitely is a tough stretch there. It 100% is a very tough stretch in that situation. Then you go in the April, and then basically the final wrap up of that season there, but still, it's a very long ways away. There's, 2.5 months left of the season, and it's going to be a very entertaining last 2.5 months, and I can't wait for all of that stuff. It was nice to see Owen Tippett back into the lineup after missing his little bit of time there before the All-Star break. I'm sure he's rested and ramped up and ready to go, and I'm sure this team is rested, ramped up, and ready to go for this back stretch of this season. It should be a very fun one. I want to see more, though. I want to see more. I want to see what this team does against the Winnipeg Jets. I'm sure Winnipeg's going to want a little bit of revenge for what happened when the Flyers beat them up in Winnipeg a couple of months, like a month or 2 ago. I'm sure that's going to be a fully, healthier Winnipeg team. So we'll see how it goes. It's going to be fun. So, yeah, I think that's going to do it for today, everybody. I appreciate you all joining in whenever you decide to tune in. Great win by the Flyers, so don't forget to leave your reactions in the comment section down below. I like to see those as always. Don't forget to drop a like. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It does me a great deal of service. And also use the code TTPSPORTS, $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Great deal. Don't pass it up. Definitely get yourself down to the Wells Fargo Center for these upcoming Flyers home games. You can also use it for Sixers games or, plan your trip out to Clearwater for pitchers and catchers that are reporting very, 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 very soon. Great deal, guys. Don't pass it up. So, thank you guys for tuning in whenever you decide to, and I will see you next time.